right-wing Goths and Goths for Trump. Some of them are bold, and some of them are one, but not the other. Burning down, well, not hot topic. Burning down, well, nothing really, because they tend to be a lot more civilized than to burn down buildings or anything like that, so... Yeah, they also tend to not hit people with bike locks or... What? Oh, okay, sorry. Can we do it again? Goths for Trump / right-wing Goths. The songs Communist Goth Antifa Idiots, Communist Goths Instrumental, and Communist Goths Remix are by Justin Trouble. See the links below for the music videos of these songs. Hi, this is me, and this is my wife, Tabitha. Neither of us are really right-wing or left-wing, and neither of us are very authoritarian or collectivist. We're more individualist. We don't agree on everything socially or politically, but we don't fight about it, and we're adults, and we can disagree on stuff, you know, without hitting each other over the head with bike locks or whatever. One of us is, you could say, a Trump supporter, and both of us want to see America succeed, and to that extent, we want to see President Trump succeed, to paraphrase our friend Kalina, to whom we shall return. At any rate, we made and uploaded a video titled Communist Goth Antifa Idiots recently, in which we have fathomed the depths of the darkness of the minds of some communist and or Antifa Goths. Now let us tread the right side of Goth. Let us go Goth right. Except for myself, all the people featured in this video are, they tell me, right-wing or at least not left-wing, and or they are Trump supporters, at least in some sense. Also, they are all Goths, or in some cases kinda sorta Goth, or used to be Goth, you know, you get the idea. Thank you all for your permission to use your photos and to describe your political views. Let's start with Devlin, since I've known him the longest. Here we are with his woman Sai, whom we shall return to ahead. In this suffocating social climate of cringing, cowardly conformity, Devlin couldn't care less about offending social justice warriors. Well, actually he does care, he prefers to do it. Like Tabby and I and his woman Sai, we enjoy these things. Some people just deserve it. Also, like the rest of us, Devlin is not afraid to mortify conservatives and Christians either. And Devlin's not afraid to sport this black MAGA hat, so fuck you, okay? Thank you very much. And thank you, Devlin. This is Sci-Fi, or just Sci. She wears many hats, including, but not limited to, DJ, promoter, model, and actress. She stars in the films My Uncle John is a Zombie, Crucivixen, and Pola. See the links below. She's badass, she takes no shit, and may be the only person I know who gets suspended from Facebook as often as I do. Oh, and Devlin's a DJ too, see, there he is. Sai's not afraid to wear a MAGA hat either, or separate herself from the social justice warrior herd. Tabitha and I love to watch her do her thing on social media, calling out social justice warriors, hypocrites, and so on. It's poetry in motion, a thing of beauty. She's a righteous bitch, and we love it. Sai wants me to be sure to tell you that, quote, the Gothic subculture is a community that doesn't get hung up on things like race, or gender, or sexual preference, or any of the silly things mundanes obsessively hate each other over. Real Gothic culture isn't petty. It's always been a place where all are welcome as long as everyone respects each other's space. Despite Goth having come from white Western culture, it had always had a large amount of diversity with regards to race, culture, and identities, unquote. And I have to agree, from almost a decade of DJing Goth industrial clubs in New York and also being in the scenes in Pittsburgh and in Austin, etc., I can say that Sai is correct, as far as my experience goes, which is not small. I DJ'd a number of Goth and Goth industrial clubs over most of a decade, and the one that I DJ'd the longest was specifically billed as a straight, gay, bisexual Goth industrial new wave club called Mesh, and also there was Out as in coming out of the closet, you know. Out was more for gay goths, but they also welcomed straight and bisexual people. Anyway, other than this one guy who came to the door and when he found out that Mesh was not exclusively gay, he said he didn't want to hang out with straight people and left. Well, besides that, I've never seen anyone be intolerant towards people based on whether they're gay or straight, white or black or whatever. At Mesh, the restrooms were unofficially gender neutral, but we never called it that. I don't think that was a term back then, and we never virtue signaled about it. It was no big deal, whatever. Gay, straight, bi, trans, cis, black, white, Asian, whatever, those differences did not make a difference at all. We also had punks, metalheads, new wave types, rivet heads, and that refers to people who are into industrial music, ravers, and, people that don't fit any category. Sai continues, quote, people get really confused over the concept of goth nationalism. They don't realize that it literally means everyone leave each other the fuck alone and just live your life the best you can. It means that it doesn't matter if a person next to you is Christian or Muslim or from a completely different culture and country, unquote. Now, some viewers may be freaking out over the use of the term nationalism. You've been trained to have a knee-jerk reaction to it, as if someone said white nationalism or ethno-nationalism or black nationalism or whatever. Wake up and pay close attention. Nationalism is not the same thing as ethno-nationalism. In fact, nationalism is actually short for civic nationalism, which means that it doesn't matter if your skin color is this or that or whatever, it matters if you are of the same nation. At any rate, in my experience in the goth scenes in New York in the 90s, Pittsburgh in the earlier 2000s, and in Austin in more recent years, Sai is correct. Also, I'd like to point out that goth is aristocratic in nature. It is elite, it is bourgeois, and hence it is not Marxist. It's the opposite. It's not socialist, it's not communist, it's not collectivist. And of course, in Marxism and communism, the elite, the aristocrats, the bourgeoisie are to be overthrown, to return nevermore. See what I did there? Thank you, Sai. Here is Harry from North Ireland. He says he fits the description of a Trump-supporting goth, and he tells me furthermore, quote, and believe me, a lot of us are sick of the far-left quote-unquote goth kids who try to ruin every party/night out by bringing their butt hurt with them. I say goth, but most of them are emos, unquote. Harry also tells me that a lot of people in his local scene virtue signal that they are for gay marriage and for this and for that, but that these very same people use homophobic slurs against him back in high school. Harry's all for gay marriage and so on, but sincerely, not hypocritically. Thank you, Harry. This is Michael, who tells me he is currently a team leader in the Michigan militia, but was goth and into the goth scene, and I would imagine he still loves the music, at any rate. Michael tells me he is right-wing, and that he voted Republican for the last 20 years. He also wants you to know that he trusts businesses much more than he trusts government. Michael told me, quote, I find myself clapping whenever Ted Nugent speaks. LOL, I'm a listener of Glenn Beck and Rush Limbaugh, unquote. Now, I can't stand Ted Nugent. And though I've listened to a lot of Rush and Beck and Hannity and Bortz and Savage and so on, it wasn't because I agreed with them, it's because I just wanted to learn their views. For the most part, I disagree with these guys, but at any rate, you know what? I still like Michael a lot more than SJWs and communists. Michael continues, quote, but Alex Jones is full of shit. I support our military and law enforcement for the most part, and I truly believe that 9/11 was perpetuated by Osama bin Laden and 19 Islamic assholes. I am a business owner, my wife and I own 3 houses, and I dabble in the stock market. I am fairly libertarian. However, where I deviate is on the issue of drug legalization. I have volunteered in the substance abuse prevention for many years, and I see the damage it does, unquote. Thank you, Michael. This is Richard, a veteran goth kind of guy. Though he is right-wing and I am not, and though he is Christian and, well, I'm very harshly critical of religion in general, and also Christianity in particular, I get along better with him than I do with, well, a lot of people who are quote-unquote atheist or whatever. Look, if you're going to act like a regressive leftist, I might agree with your views, but I might dislike you. At any rate, Richard says, quote, as a goth of many years, I grow tired of self-censoring microaggressed children being constantly offended. It interferes with my decadent plans. I am a pro-capitalist, Western-loving, Second and First Amendment goth. Love the Bill of Rights too, and am not offended by history. I try to learn from it. If the left did that, they would know how crappy socialism and communism are. But they are too busy being offended to learn from history. Did you know Nazis and communists are both socialists and totalitarians? Odd. Yes, Richard, that is in fact why I made this meme right here, because they are all totalitarian, fascism included. Richard also told me, quote, I was a former liberal and Democrat, but under Obama and the insane leftists saying I am evil because I am a white male and I must be a Nazi even though I have never belonged to any Nazi groups or have any sympathies with them, and in fact I told the KKK member 20 years ago that he was an anti-Semitic and needed therapy. It was I hate America sentiments in the left and I hate families and all Europeans are evil and check your privilege drivel and their willful apologetics of Islam and their embracing of socialism and constant hysterics and use of violence that finally drove me out. Unquote. Thank you, Richard. This is James. James Pawson does excellent non-regressive analysis of politics and the culture war on his Bitchute and YouTube channels. See the links below for that. James is a scholar and a philosopher, and he likes a lot of great music. As far as what it means to be, well, at least sort of goth and right-wing, James tells me, quote, I don't have much to say about it, kind of moved on and forgot about the goth stuff, though I still love a lot of the music, unquote. Thank you, James. This is Kalina, who you may remember briefly appeared in a past video. She takes no guff from you, bub, or anyone else. Kalina gets suspended from Facebook almost as much as Sai and myself because, well, she takes no shit. Kalina says, quote, other people call me goth. I don't really consider myself one. I love the culture, but I love bold colors, and according to some, that's just unacceptable. Laughing my fucking ass off. I'm a hippie slash goth slash grungy slash death metal slash redneck slash Yankee. I absolutely love and hate everything. I consider myself a Trump supporter in the sense that I don't want to see him fail us, or himself really, unquote. Thank you, Kalina. There are other such goths that I know of and are friends with who would consider themselves to be either Trump supporters and or right wing, but they haven't given me their permission, so we'll just have to leave them aside. Oh well. However, see the links below for the blog and political cartoon blog sort of thingy called Goths for Trump, featuring Sai and Devlin, which is part of Donald Trump Political Cartoons by Maria Grasmick, if I'm saying that correctly. By the way, neither Sai nor Devlin nor any of us are associated with Maria Grasmick. I just happened to find Goths for Trump when researching our video on communist Goths. See the links below for Goths for Trump on politicalcartoondonaldtrump.com and on Steemit and so on. If you ever see this video, thanks Maria. This is Tabitha. Tabitha has expounded upon her views at length in her Woman-Splaining with Tabitha videos and in other videos on this channel, but here she is. From here on out, we'll see more images of Tabitha and these other lovely ladies set to my music. Thanks again to everyone featured in this video. If you are a right-wing goth, a left-wing goth, a communist goth, or whatever, let's talk in the comments section. One more thing, folks, see the links below to subscribe to us on Bitchute, because sooner or later YouTube will delete our YouTube channel. And see the links to my Gab, my Minds, etc. Thanks for watching, everyone. Peace, love, freedom, and equality.